We are Zeitjung, an independent youth magazine based in Munich. We're exploring stories that challenge us and inspires our generation. And the case of Amanda Knox captivated the world. A young woman caught in a shocking murder investigation and a relentless media storm. In the new series, The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox, you portray Amanda's mother, a woman fighting to protect her daughter against all odds. We're really excited to talk with you about this powerful rule and the story behind it. Thanks again for being here. And
Thanks for
you're
having me.
known, you're known for portraying sharp, complex women, often with a sarcastic edge. But in The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox, we see you in a much more vulnerable and emotional role. How did you approach playing Amanda's mother, or character telling with such intense emotional challenges?
Well, I was very nervous about it for that reason, but I spent a lot of time talking to KJ Steinberg. She's the creator of the show and the head writer. Um, and sort of I kind of approached it like I approach anything. I gave it a lot of thought. I wanted her to just be the real person that she is. I watched a lot of documentaries. I watched anything
Mhm.
online I could find, interviews with her, sort of watching how she, just an ordinary woman, dealt with this terrible, awful situation she found herself in, having to speak to the media, having to, represent her daughter to the outside world. But really, it was all there in the scripts, and I put my trust in them, and also the team behind the show. They had such an amazing pedigree of making of telling great stories. So I felt, even though it was quite different from what I've done before, I felt like I was in safe hands.
Amazing. All right. And in most true crime shows, the people at the center of the story have no say in how they are portrayed. And here, Amanda Knox was behind the camera as well as an executive producer, right? And did that change how the story was told or how it felt to tell it?
Well, I think it's a new perspective. It's not a straight up American crime story or courtroom drama. We sort of like are looking at her story through a wider lens. We draw on her experience. We look at everything that contributed to her journey leading up to the court case and everything that um, happened afterwards. And so, yes, absolutely, having Amanda there and having her perspective on all that meant that it was sort of, it was a story about, of course, it's a story about, or inspired by her story, about, this tragic murder, but it's also a story about a family. It's a story
Yeah,
about a mother and a daughter. And as someone who played the mother, I was kind of very focused on that as well.
I can imagine. And today, the court of public opinion plays out in real time on social media, in comments, on podcasts. And how do you think that kind of environment would have changed Amanda's story, like nowadays?
Oh my gosh, that is a really good question.
Thank you.
No, but one that's kind of hard to answer because, the media played such a huge role in the story anyway,
Yeah.
and it contributed to the bias. I think that she and everything about the case was subjected to. So I don't know. I mean, social media for the most part makes things a lot more difficult. It's a very loud
Mhm.
noise that's hard to ignore. I really don't know, but it's
Yeah.
a question.
We probably never know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And true crime is everywhere right now, and there's always a risk in like dramatizing real life stories, especially as once as controversial and emotionally loaded as Amanda Knox's. And how did you and the creative team navigate the tension between staying truthful and building a compelling narrative?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think you know, again, I really put my trust in KJ Steinberg. She
Hmm.
researched this for, I think it was 3 years before she even put pen to paper, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
you make any kind of TV, and of course you're looking at it through a lens of, you know, entertainment as well as
yeah,
um telling the story as truthfully as you possibly can. I think we approached it with the care that it deserved, you know. I think it was a terrible, awful tragedy that we were, you know, aware of
for
from
sure.
the very start, from the very first read through and all the way through. And you know, I think I was just very grateful to have a team around who I knew had a handle on that. You know, and I
Yeah,
mean the team, from the producers to the director, showrunner, all the actors. We were, you know, we kept an eye on the importance of the story all the way through.